Come on down to the Law Student Lounge with your host, attorney Ryan McKeen, where law students like you tell their stories. So pull up a chair and join us in the lounge.
Hi, everyone. It's Connecticut personal injury attorney Ryan McKeen here from Connecticut Trial Firm, and I am so excited. Today, we have Joel Ennin on. Joel is a 3L at Quinnipiac, or heading into his third year at Quinnipiac University School of Law in Hamden, Connecticut. Welcome, Joel.
Welcome. Nice to be here, Ryan. Thanks again for inviting me. I can't wait to get started.
So nice to have you on, Joel. Joel, can you tell us a little bit about your background?
Sure, yes. I was born actually in Hartford, Connecticut, and I'm a middle child of 5. I have 3 other brothers and 1 sister. I have both my parents are first-generation immigrants. They both came from, my dad came from Ghana when he was at the age of like 27, and my mom came from Jamaica where her sister's like in her early 20s. So this is new to them, like, you know, being in the US and whatnot. So they had made a lot of sacrifices for me and my siblings to get to where we are today, and putting us through school, because all of us have gone to, you know, high school. We graduated from high school, went to college, we graduated from college, and actually all of us are going and taking the next level. Me and my siblings, me and my older siblings, me and my sister and my brother are all like in a doctorate program, while my 2 younger brothers are getting their masters, and hopefully like everything works out, we'll all be graduated by the end of May next year. So that'd be nice, for especially like with all the sacrifices our parents made for us to get to where we are today.
That is wonderful. Like, I'm listening to you talk, and like that's the American dream right there. And I feel like I should have your parents on. As a parent myself, I'm like, they did a lot right. That is awesome. That is awesome. So you grew up in East Hartford. I worked at East Hartford for a number of years, right next to Glastonbury, where I am now. Can you talk about, you know, growing up and coming from a place like East Hartford? We got listeners from all over the country. East Hartford is a suburb of Hartford, Connecticut, and it tends to be like on the poorer end of the socioeconomic status in the area. A vibrantly diverse community. You have all sorts of it's a places that immigrants go, and my favorite thing about it is they open great like immigrant restaurants, whether it's Vietnamese restaurants, or this is where you get the true like hole in the wall great food places in the Hartford area. But it is a really an immigrant town. Can you talk about how like that background really sort of, you know, just tell me about that background and how it interfaces with law school?
Yeah, it's a unique background, to be honest. And like you said, like it's really immigrant based. So I get to like, you know, experience like what it's like for like a lot of immigrants, like my parents, go like take the transition from going from their country into the United States and trying to get jobs, trying to like take care of their families, and seeing that like it really makes me like really like relish and like really taking the like consideration like how much my parents really sacrificed to get my brothers and my siblings to where we are today. At first I was taking advantage of that, but the more like I hung out with, you know, other people that are like immigrants and people that didn't have like the same I don't want to say benefits, but I want to say like my parents put us in a good position to like really become successful. And I know like other immigrants don't have that same direction. So I've seen like the hardships that like they have to go through, like even paying off their rent, trying to get a job, trying to like, you know, get their citizenship here. Like it's tough. It's really tough to do that. But like seeing like how much they want to like invest and how much time they want to put in to make sure that they can like, you know, make a better life for not only themselves, but like also for their children and their children's children. And I like to see that in terms of like how it relates to the law, like it helped me like realize that like immigration is an important like subject matter, and like we shouldn't like take it for granted, because so many people that come from their like native countries to come here, like they're making a big leap. It's like a big culture shock too, because like there's so much things that are different in America that compared to the other countries. So like for them to take the leap here, we have to like credit them. We have to like at least give them like, you know, the right means to like become successful here, because it's like coming to America, it's really a difficult jump, to be honest, but like it's definitely rewarding if you can make, you know, the right the right the right moves and the right you know, meet the right people too, because like if you can get in a pole position to become successful, you will love it here. But again, like America is, it's rewarding. It's definitely rewarding, but it's definitely difficult to really you know, make a name for yourself. And I know like immigration law is like, you know, kind of put in the back burner compared to the other laws like criminal law or like personal injury law, constitutional law, like all these other laws. I feel like immigration law should still have like at least like a proper like, you know, proper news feeds, or like at least have like people talk about it more, because I feel like it's a big topic in our country, especially today, with how many like immigrants are struggling to like, you know, find jobs and you know, help their families and make, you know, put food on the table and whatnot. But, yeah.
So when was it that you decided to go to law school, Joel?
Good question. I decided to go. I wanted to go to law school during my senior year of high school. So like I didn't go to a school in East Hartford. I went to a school in Westonbury called the Master School, and I met like one of my high school teachers there, who was actually he did get his JD, but I don't think he ever practiced law. But like he like, you know, he had a serious class that I took, and I really found like the law like engaging. Later, like in college, after I graduated and I went to college at Central Connecticut State University in New Britain, I entering college, I wanted to still become a lawyer. I still wanted to go to law school. But like as the years waned, I kind of like was like slowly moving away from that. And I kind of like saw myself doing something else, maybe like in mathematics. So I decided I wanted to go to like, I want to change my major from like law to engineering, because I felt like I could do more for engineering when it came to you know, making a name for myself and making money. Because I like the whole point for me, like I want to like, you know, make some money so that way I can help my parents retire early, because they gave us a lot. They gave us a lot of like tools to really become successful. And by the way, like the name of my the master school teacher that helped me like fall in love with law was Mr. Waller. And honestly, I really like appreciate everything he just done for me, because he like opened my eyes to what law is again. But then again, like I moved away from it, but eventually found my way like during my senior year of college. Because once I like did an engineering course, I realized that like it wasn't for me. Like I was more like a philosopher than you know, an engineer type of guy. So even though I like math and I really love doing math, I don't see myself making a career out of it. So I was like, let me try law, because I really enjoy like reading and writing. I really also want to make a difference in people's lives, especially people that again don't have like the best, you know, family background, or don't really have the tools to really become successful. So yeah, that's what led me to law school, because I'm like, I want to make a change. I know like I can't really make a change, like I can't really make the change I want as an engineer, and I can't really see myself becoming an engineer for like, you know, the long term, maybe for the short term, but not for the long term. So I was like, let me challenge myself and go to law school, because I know like a lot of people talk about how law school is difficult. So I really want to see for myself how difficult it really was. And I gotta say, the first couple of years, it was really something. It was really something. Yeah.
Well, shout out to your teacher and all the teachers out there who inspire students to help find themselves and set them on their journey. I know I wouldn't be here without some amazing teachers and some encouragement and all of it. And I think that speaks for many of my colleagues. So Mr. Waller, was it?
Yep.
Shout out to you, Mr. Waller, if you're listening, and everybody else out there who inspires people like Joel to go into law. We need good lawyers. Like I know people talk about, there's so many lawyers in this country. We actually need more. We need more good lawyers, and especially lawyers who are willing to help people. I mean, there's a lot of different paths you can take in this world. You could go to work for a big company or the government. But if you're looking to help people, I mean, there's no shortage of demand out there and whatever it is that you choose. So that is awesome that somebody like you is going through this. So you go to college. Where do you go to college?
I went to college at Central Connecticut State University in New Britain, Connecticut.
CCSU. That's awesome. And what do you do in what is your major in college?
So yeah, when I first started out, I was a criminal justice major with a minor in, I want to say, English, I believe. And from there, I transitioned to like engineering because, like I said before, like engineering, because I thought like I could make a career out of like, engineering. And I didn't really want to go back to school for another couple of years, but things happen. So I took like a course in engineering. It was like an intro course in engineering, and it wasn't bad, but that took an actual like course, like a 200 level engineering course, and that kind of opened my eyes. Like, okay, maybe engineering wasn't for me. Maybe let me try like get into law school. Let me study for the LSAT. Let me take that next leap, the next step that I need to do to get into law school, and try to like take my career to like another path and another level.
And if you're out there and you're in college, I think Joel's point there is really important, because I think for me, I wanted to be a teacher. And then when I got to college, it was like, I don't know if I want to teach. I think I want to go in and be a lawyer. And I think that that's true for a lot of people out there in college. So if you're in high school, you're in your beginning of your college career, even at the end of your college career, just know that it's really okay to change up and find yourself later in college. Joel, can you talk to us about your decision to take the LSAT and how you studied for it? Because we get a lot of questions about, the LSAT from people who are thinking about going to law school. What would you go back if you could tell yourself, I guess now 3-4 years ago, to do what worked, what didn't work regarding the LSAT?
So yeah, so I actually was given the LSAT book from a friend of mine that was also in law school after he graduated CCSU. And I've kind of like reviewed that for, a couple of weeks. And then I was kind of confused because I'm like, I don't really understand this. So from there, I decided to like take a prep course. I think it's a Kaplan prep course. And they also like sent like me books and stuff to like really review and like, go over like the material and subject matter. And if I could go back, I would tell myself like, there's no rush. Like, because I went to law school right after like I graduated from CCSU, and what I could tell myself was like, don't rush the process. Like instead, take time to really like hammer it in, like understanding like the LSAT and the like topics and the examples and assignments and all that jazz. I should say, because like it's really a lot and it's really different from undergrad. And I feel like I wanted to like get into law school so badly right after undergrad that I kind of rushed it. And I feel like I could have done better than I actually did. I could have ended up in a better position. Not saying my position right now is not better, but I would say like taking time to really like understanding the materials, because law school is really different than undergrad. And if like you take your time and really hammer in what you're studying, I feel like it'll help you out in that long term, because it's better to like, do the hard parts now and like kind of like handle all the stress and whatnot than to have to deal with all that later on. Because right now I'm not saying I'm paying for what I did back then. I still think I made a good decision, but I feel like I should at least take some time to really like understand the LSAT, how it works, how like, the different like sections all blend together and how like they work individually and stuff like that. But all in all, like as long as you like, it's better to be over prepared than under prepared, I would say, because like you never know what to expect on that LSAT. So it's better to like really like take a year or two like just to really like dissect it and really understand it, because it's a lot, especially because I like studied during my semester, like senior year of college. So I was doing like 300, 400 level classes, also studying for the LSAT. And I feel like I didn't really do enough to really pay like more focus to the LSAT than like it deserves, because I was thinking like the LSAT was kind of like underestimated it. I thought it was gonna be, you know, easier than I thought. So I feel like if I could go back, I would spend a little bit more time really hammering it on and like really understanding it, because it's a lot, especially when you're doing like other things. Like I was like working and also like, you know, doing my homework and studying for exams and whatnot and writing papers.
Yeah, and that is I was the first person in my family to graduate from a 4-year school, and you know, I was sort of like, well, if you're smart, you're going to get a good score on the LSAT, and I felt like I was smart, right?
Mm-hmm.
But really and truly, you know, prep courses and doing that prep, like they can help so much because you can learn the test. It's not about how smart you are. It's about how good you are on the specific test. So if you're out there and you're thinking of it, listen to Joel, listen to me, like put that time, put that money, take as much prep as you can, because that's going to affect your scholarship money. Where you get in, it's going to affect a whole host of different things. And it's the kind of thing where if you're willing to put in the work, you can get the results. Like you can start over here and, you know, the lower end of the spectrum in terms of scores, and you do enough testing, enough learning, you know, pretty quickly, you can go up to the higher end of the scores. So if you're out there, you're thinking about it, definitely invest in taking the LSAT and invest in prep courses and prep until you really get there and you're able to consistently on practice scores score pretty high, because it's going to affect the money you're going to get for sure. So Joel, take us into like your first semester of law school. That's like sort of a crucible moment for anybody. And we've talked about it on the show before with other guests, but it's one of these things where if you haven't experienced it, it's like nothing you've probably ever experienced before. So I'm just going to let you dive right into that, Joel.
Oh man, I don't even know where to start. It was a lot. When I first got to law school, it was a lot. It was on a different level compared to undergrad. And like, again, you're put into a position where it's like, you're not like really accustomed to. And again, it's kind of like a restart, because like you have to like meet new people that you've never really, you know, seen before. Because a lot of people like either travel from out of state to come here, or like they're in state and like they went to undergrad version of the campus. But it's like you get a lot of different people at your law school, from people that are like your age to people that are like, you know, 70s, 80s, like they're retired but they want to go back and like you know, get their law degree. So it was definitely a lot. I would say you gotta pace yourself, because you're getting like so much at one time. And like I felt like I was ready. I felt like I was at least somewhat prepared for law school, because like we got assignments, I want to say like 2 weeks before like the start date. So I was like trying to focus on that, trying to understand that, and like trying to like hammer in like what the, you know, professors are going to talk about. And I just gotta say, like it caught me off guard, because that first class, like of course the first class was syllabus, but then like the next class after that, that's when we actually like got right into it. But again, every professor is different. Some professors go right into it. They like kind of like talk about the syllabus for like a couple minutes, then go right into like, you know, first week's assignment. Other professors like take their time with it. So again, it varies from professor to professor. But all the professors, especially my first year, all of them cold call. So you have to get ready for that. Cold calling is when like, you know, they call you at random. And I had one of my professors, he went like down the line, the list of like alphabetical order of our names, and he would like ask us questions using the Socratic method. And that's a method where he could like constantly ask you questions. Like after you give your answer, he would like ask you another question, like why would you think that? Like it's really like he wants you to really like understand why you're saying what you're saying, and kind of like give like, you know, details and reasonings behind that. It was a lot, but he was a great professor. But his name was Professor Krause. He was a lot, but it was definitely rewarding, because he taught me a lot my first semester and first year of law school. So much so that I ended up taking him again, like in the later semesters. But I gotta admit, like law school, that first semester was a lot. The books were expensive too. Your best bet is to look on Amazon, or if you find like another website that you can use another website. But I would say, like, for me anyway, I would say like to wait like until your first class, because some professors don't even use the book. So it's better to wait until you know for sure that you're gonna use the book before buying it. Because again, like if worst case scenario, like if you end up needing the book, you can like rent it out through the library, and you can scan it, because there's like a lot of apps on your phone that can like scan the pages, so that way you can just like have it on your phone and like kind of print it out, and kind of like just make notes. That's what I did my second semester, because I don't want to pay those expensive ones, because those books are expensive. If you thought undergrad books were expensive, law school books are another level.
They are on another level. So what were the real high? Let's go through like a high and a low from your first year of law school.
So a low was the amount of reading. I was not ready for that. I thought I was ready for that, but I wasn't. There's a lot of reading in law school. Just be prepared for that, because it's a lot. It's a lot. But eventually I was able to figure it out. And a high point, I would say, is like meeting my classmates, my peers, because you can't really do law school, but some people could, but like for me anyway, I need like people that think like me and kind of relate to me, so that way I can like when I don't understand anything, I can go to them, ask them questions, because those are your law school peers are going to be like with you for possibly the next 3 years of your law school life. So it's better to they might even be like your associate or your coworker. So it's better to befriend them and kind of introduce yourself, be respectful to them, because you never know, they might help you get a job in the future. So it's better to be respectful to everyone you meet, because you never know who's gonna help you later on in life. So definitely, I love getting to know my friends, and I love getting to know everyone's story, because it's one thing to go to law school and just focus on the work. It's another thing to go to law school, actually enjoy, meet people, do work together, build a study group, because you're gonna need it. Study groups are important in law school, especially during finals, because those final exams are kind of tricky. So it's best for you to have other people in your friend group or study group that could really help you understand something that you already understand, that you need a second opinion on, or another perspective on. So high point for me is the friendships I made, the connections I made. I love it. I wouldn't change any of that. I'm still friends with most of my 1 hour year friends, so I'm happy about that. Shout out to them.
I've said this one before too, if you listen to prior episodes, that one of the great gifts in my life are my law school classmates. And I mean, I'm 20 years removed from my first year of law school, maybe 21 years, I think now. I guess it started in 2002, so we're 2023. And, these are people who I've maintained in contact with. I'm still in a fantasy baseball league for my 1L law school with a bunch of friends. And we have been at each other's weddings. We've been there professionally for each other. And if you go to a school, yes, make friends. Your law school classmates should be some pretty interesting people, people with a lot of diverse backgrounds, people who are smart, people who have different experiences and interests, and having that common tie, that common shared experience is a wonderful way to bond and build some lasting relationships. And if I had to go back, it would be I'd tell myself one of those things would be look, the people to the left and right of you are going to be great gifts in your life. Begin enjoying them. And, a lot of people will view law school as super competitive. And it is you've got to try to do your best, but really all you're doing is competing with yourself to do your best. You're not competing with a person next to you. You are competing with yourself, and they're not the enemy. It is, if you let it is a wonderful, wonderful gift. So can you talk to me a little bit about what it is that you want to do after law school, which is a question I always hated getting when I was in law school, because I was look, I just want a job that's going to pay my law school loans and I don't starve. So where are you on that journey, Joel?
That's a tricky question. I'm with you too. Like, I just want, a job after law school that can like pay money and like pay off my school loans, student loans. But in reality, I want a job or a position that like can help me make a change. I'm really leaning towards criminal law because I feel like criminal law is something that like put in perspective, it can like really like change a lot, especially in people's lives, people that like, were either like falsely accused or people that, made a mistake and just need like some time to really like understand what they did was wrong and kind of like get a restart, if you know what I mean. But I was always interested in becoming a public defender. Ever since I would say like right after like I took the LSAT, so like my senior year, because like my uncle he was put up on charges, and he was accused of this crime. So after that, I experienced that because like his attorney, again, like I don't know what happened, but the attorney I feel like didn't do the best job, and I feel like he could have, done a little bit more than he did. So like watching that, especially him being like an African American and an immigrant, it's like he really had the odds stacked against him. And if his attorney's not, giving his best effort to really help him out, it's like who else can? It's like everyone else like is like really looking, looking like he is a criminal and looking like he committed the crime and committed. And then like it doesn't help when your attorney doesn't really have your back because your attorney's supposed to be the one that always is there for you. So that left a like lingering like feeling in the back of my like my head because like it was happening to him. Who else is it happening to? And I don't like to think that like that because it's like I don't want to like think the world that we live in is like that, but it is, and I don't want to be. Therefore, I want to like make a change for that. That's why I want to be an attorney, a criminal attorney that can like help speak for the people that can like really speak for themselves, that really be the voice for voiceless. My main goal is to become a judge because I feel like they have like more power and more ways to really make a change. But again, you always have to start somewhere. So I know I have to start at a public defender's office and kind of move from there and gradually work my way up. And I feel like criminal law is the way to do it. Again, like I have other interests, like I'm interested in sports law too, because like I'm a big like sports fan. Like I love basketball, I love soccer, football, like all those sports. So it'd be nice to be a sports attorney. But if that doesn't work, criminal law is the way to go for me.
So what have you done in law school with criminal law? Have you done any internships or things like that or clinics?
Yes, I've actually done I've done a fellowship at the New Haven Superior Court. I was helping out pro se litigants, which are people that don't have their own attorneys and like they're filing these claims of temporary restraining orders against significant others or other people. And I've just been I helped with the paperwork with that and kind of help them start the process of filing the temporary restraining order. And that experience really helped me confirm my interest in helping people and helping the the people that are economically stable in order to afford an attorney. I want to be that public defender to really help them make their lives easier for one, but also help them with their case and make give them the right support that they need to help them win their case. And I feel like for me, having those face-to-face conversations with those pro se litigants really helped me to realize that these people are normal people. These are everyday people that are on the streets that you can see when you go to the mall or when you go to stores or when you go to restaurants. These are everyday people and they're suffering. They're really at an all-time low came into the office. And for me to like, give them a smile, make them cheer up a little bit, it really like brought like this feeling in my heart that I really like can't explain. Like it just like, because it helped me realize that I want to give back to, the community. I want to help, people that look like me, people that like, are, struggling, really struggling, especially people that are not like on that, upper, higher socioeconomic class. And I feel like that experience really like helped me to really realize my dream of really helping people out and like really helping them like have that support that they need, especially when so many attorneys, not so many attorneys, but some attorneys are only out there for the money and not to like, really helping the man. I want to focus on like helping the man. The money's cool too, but like the man, like I want to help the men and women that are struggling and need that support that they probably can't get anywhere else.
What you said is so important in so many ways. I'm going to take it one direction, and if you're out there listening, maybe rewind that part of what Joel just said, because I think it's that important. Whatever it is, you have to find your why in law school. You have to understand what motivates you, like what makes you happy, what is rewarding to you, because you're going to be doing a lot of it if you're in law. And I can tell you that the happiest lawyers, law school classmates that I've had, lawyers that I know, we're talking thousands of people, hundreds of people at the very least. And the happiest people are the ones who are like, this is something, it's a purpose larger than money. Like you do something that you love, like the money will follow. Like money is the residue of that. And the ones who are the happiest and who achieve the most, whether it was they really wanted to go in and be a family law lawyer, or they wanted to go in and they wanted to, maybe work for the government. Maybe that was, they wanted to be an FBI agent. I have FBI agent classmates. They wanted to be a tax attorney. They really love the tax code. I don't know. These people are weirdos to me. If you love the tax code, you're a little weird. I'd love to have you on the pod and we can talk. But they loved it more than the money. And it's like, if you find your why you want to help people, why you want to do what you do, like that's going to set you up for a really rewarding and enriching career. Because look, it's not being a lawyer is not a 9 to 5. Being a lawyer is not like you're on an assembly line and you're told to do the same thing every single day. You've got to get better at your skills. You've got to get better at your craft. You got to go out and learn on your own. Like if it's a pie eating contest, you are going to be eating a lot of pie. You better like the pie that you are eating. So absolutely figure out what it is your purpose is and go get it. Go do it. And if you're out there and you're like, well, I don't know what that is. Just think about it in a very simple way. Think about like, you have to do this next thing. Like, what class are you excited for? What work are you interested in doing? Is this, to me, when I look at my days, is this an energy drain or does it give me energy? And if it gives you energy, listen to your intuition, listen to your soul, like lean into that and do it. Because that matters a ton, Joel, and I think into your future success, which I can see clearly. One of the things that we talk about on this pod, change gears a little bit here, is that there's a disconnect between what goes on in a law school classroom and what goes on in practicing law, real court. And so if you're sitting there and you're a fellow in, New Haven Superior Court, I mean, you got problems from all walks of life, and you've got people who are scared, they're confused, they may struggle with language, they may struggle with understanding what is happening, and they may just have real problems that they need help with. Can you talk about that and what it is that you learned from actually being on the ground and trying to help people with legal problems?
I mean, that's a good question. And it's definitely a difference between the two, like being in law school and like learning about like the different types of law and actually be out in the field. Because again, like you can't, because I know most of my professors use the IRAC formula. Like when there's a problem, they use like an issue. What's the issue? Rule, what's the rule? Applying that roll to the facts of the case and conclusion. But you can't really do that when you're out in the field, because it's like, you can do that in your head, but you can't really do that when you're talking to people, because like, again, like you have to like phrase your words in a way that they understand, that it makes them like, easy to follow along with. You can't just use legal jargon, because it's not going to really go anywhere. They're going to like constantly ask you for clarification. So it's better to just like, talk to them one-on-one, like, and have like a regular conversation. And like kind of like, when an issue occurs, explain that issue in layman's term, and kind of like make it easier for them to really like understand. Because again, like a lot of people that came into like, the into the courthouse actually for a temporary restraining order, some people are like suffering from different disabilities. So it's up to us to really make it easy for them to really understand, and to really like make it like simple for them to like really comprehend, and like that way they know like what's going on. Because the worst thing you could do is like help someone and the person doesn't know what you really helped them with. So they're like, so not only confused about what you did, if you did anything, or they don't know like what they should do next. Like me, like I like to like, really like paint kind of like a mental picture for them to really understand like the step-by-step process. And then from there, like I would help them like solve their like, issue or problem. Because like, again, like a lot of people were like either blind, older, they like were deaf. So like you have to like really adjust how you talk to each one. You can't just, expect to use the same thing that you use with one person and apply it to another person. Because like, again, every situation is different, and you have to take that into account when you're, going through that real life, like, application, and like really helping people to like really understand what's going on. Because again, as an attorney, you're supposed to help them understand what's going on and kind of like help them figure out what choice they want to make, because the choice is in their hands, because it's their life. We're just supposed to guide them.
Right. And that is the job of the lawyer. Like our job is to explain things in a way that our clients can understand, that empower them to make the best decisions that they can make. Like, we are not the decision makers. I mean, maybe, yes, we're the decision makers on maybe what arguments to make in a brief, but ultimately at the highest level, it is the client's responsibility for their own actions, for their own decisions. They are the ones deciding, do we do this? Do we not do this? How do we do this? How do we mitigate what we have done? Those are all the things that clients have to decide. And whether you're advising somebody who's a criminal defendant or you're advising a Fortune 500 CEO, you have to put it in the language that they understand. So that you are part of your hat as a lawyer, whether you're a litigator or a transactional lawyer, is that of teacher and counselor. And you really have to understand, how can I get into their head? How can I teach them what they need to know? How can I help that guide their decision-making process, as opposed to, just telling them what to do? Because it is ultimately their life and their fate, and the fate of their business, frankly. Those are very important things. So if you're out there and you're in law school, and it's hard, but do those things that allow you to actually have client contact early on in your career, because that is where the rubber meets the road as a lawyer. Your ability to really connect and explain things to clients is an invaluable skill. And look, you're in law school, you haven't dealt with things yet, you don't know it, don't worry about it. It's a muscle. You can absolutely work on what it is that you are doing. You can get better at what it is, but get out there, get that practice, watch lawyers, watch how they talk to clients, work with different lawyers. You'll see that some are way better than others at it. But you're, ultimately it is your job as a client, as a lawyer, to empower your clients to make the best decisions for them, and then help them, you then act at their direction and carry those things out. So great way, I think to end it. Joel, well, actually, what are you looking forward to? I mean, you're heading into your third year, what are you looking forward to in your third year? Because third year is a little bit different. I think, at least for me, first year was all about, the core classes you had to take. You didn't have a lot of freedom in that. Second year was more finding out. And third year, you're really beginning to transition out of law school. So talk to me about what you're looking forward to.
One of the big things is like getting ready for the real world. Because again, like I said earlier, I went from undergrad right into law school. So I never really had that real world experience working, like the actual job. Because I've been in school like for so many years. So I'm looking forward to finally taking that leap to like starting to like work like in the real world. So I'm excited about that. But I'm also like excited to like graduate and get ready to take the bar. But it's I kind of don't like, for me, like right now I don't really want to leave just yet, because I feel like I could still do a little bit more in law school in terms of like learning like a few more like classes and whatnot. But again, like time went by fast, so definitely treasure your law school career when you like can. I'm looking forward to like all the events and stuff, because I know like a lot of people that I'm in law school with might end up going to different states, so I might not see them for a while. So I want to like try to enjoy like my friends as much as I can before like we each take that next step to taking the bar, and then from there going into the real world and like kind of become an actual attorney, because that's really crazy to think about, because it feels like just yesterday we were just in law school and just like taking our first class in criminal law with our Professor Meyer. And it's just wild to think that like I mentioned my third year and it's almost done. It's almost like I'm almost at the finish line, so I just want to make sure I finish strong.
Well, Joel, it goes by really quickly. That is a good way. This 45 minutes has flown by for me. Hey, if you are up in the East Hartford area, definitely hit me up. I'd love to grab lunch with you, and enjoy some of those restaurants I really do like in East Hartford. And maybe when it gets cold this fall up here in a few weeks, we'll go get some pho or something. And if some Ghanaian restaurant that is banging, I am absolutely down to try that. So I hope to meet you in person. Thank you. I'm going to end it like we always end this, which is, if we're at a cookout and you get a burger, it could be a veggie burger, hamburger, whatever you want, Kobe beef burger, whatever it is you want. What are you putting on that burger?
In terms of condiments or?
In terms of condiments, but anything. You could put anything. I'll give you have everything one can possibly put on a hamburger on this buffet. This is a banging buffet. Your uncle went all out.
Yeah, I would say mayo. Mayo's a thing for me. Yeah, I love mayo.
Now, are you like a homemade mayo guy, or are you like I love like Hellman's mayonnaise, like whatever from the store?
Again, either or. Like mayo's mayo for me. Homemade or store bought.
All right, there are no wrong answers to this question. So thank you, Joel. And look, if you're out there, you're listening, you enjoyed it, please, wherever you listen to podcasts, go out, give us a 5-star review. It's going to help us reach more people. Share it. Joel, thank you so much for being on. And I wish you so much luck as you head into your third year. Please don't be a stranger to me. I'm happy to help you in any way that I can.
Thanks so much, Ryan. Thanks again for having me.
Thank you for joining Ryan McKeen in the Law Student Lounge, where real law students talk about their real lives. Are you a law student with a story to tell? Learn how you can share your story with us in the episode description. And join us next time in the Law Student Lounge.